only one statement, that is if statement, which says that if condition then the true block, else it will be false block. This is going to be optional. Else part of that particular statement will be optional. We need not every time write else. This is one statement that we have seen up till now. Let us go ahead and think of some program, say write a program to print numbers from 1 to n, where n is given by user, where n will be given by the user. What will be the logic? The steps, if we are required to write the steps, how will we write them? First is obviously accept n, because we have seen three phases. First is to take the input, second is process it, and then give the output. So these are the three parts of any program. So input in this case is going to be a single number n. Then what will you do? If I ask you to write the numbers from 1 to 10, how will you write? You will write 1. Then, so you will have to start with some number, say I, which is 1. Then you will say print I. Then you will be saying increment I. Then you will have to check if I is less than n, then go to step, which step? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. See, if you go to step 4, it will increment, it will check, it will increment, it will check, whereas you are required to print every time. So it will be to step 2. Suppose I give n as 5. Can you tell me what will be the output? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 nahi print hoga. Because when it prints 4, I becomes 5. 5 less than 5 will be false. Then it should be less than or equal to. Then it should be less than or equal to. And then you will stop. Up till now, the flowcharts that we have drawn or the steps that we have written, we have never gone back to some previous step. The flowchart in this case will look like start, accept n, assign 1 to I, you will say print I, you will say increment I, then there will be a check, I less than or equal to n, true, false, stop. First time we are going back. Up till now all the arrows were downward. From one arrow we might had 2. From 2 to 4, 4 to 8, even up to that level we had gone. But now here for the first time we are going back. And then a few statements they will be executed repeatedly. That's why this thing will be called as a loop. You can even talk to your seniors and ask them what are the different loops in C. Okay, just try this. Okay, what will they tell? For, do while, 50% of them will also say that if is a loop. Talk to them. Don't believe in me. Go to your college and just ask them. Don't ask them whether if is a loop. Ask it other way around. What are different loops in C? They will start with if, for, do, while, while. If is not a loop. Loop is something where the things should happen repeatedly. If is a branching statement. We call all these 4 statements, these 3 will be loops. We call them as control structures. What do they control? They control the flow. The default flow of any program is linear from one step. Did I write from step 1 go to step 2? No. That is assumed. After first step you will go to the second, from second to third, from third to fourth, like that. Did I say over here on false go to step 6? No. If this is false, then come down. So the default flow of any program is going to be a linear one. So when we say control structure, the wording is actually flow control. We are required to control the flow of the program. It is flow control. These are the control structures in C. We also have one more called as switch case. Got it? Now that flow control will sometimes skip some statements, so like our if block. We are either executing true part or the false, but both of them will never get executed. That means you are taking a jump. Here in loops also there is a branch, but some statements will be executed repeatedly. That's why it should be a loop. Now if you see from top, if I come down, if I give you value of n as 0, if I say print numbers from 1 up to 0, what will you print? Nothing. You should not. But in this case what will happen? 1, it will print 1, it will increment 1, it will become 2, 2 less than or equal to 0 is false, it will stop. We have already printed 1. If I give the value as minus 10, what will it print? It will still print 1. Getting it? Why? Because the check is at the bottom. We are first performing the task and then checking the condition. It is quite possible that I might check the condition first and on that condition I will print. The another type that I can show you over here, another part of the flow chart, is after I equal to 1, I will put a condition if I is less than or equal to n. On true, I will say print I, then I will say increment I, and after incrementing I should again check whether I is less than n. If yes, print it. On false, stop. What has happened? I have simply shifted this particular condition block to before it. If you see the sequence, print, increment, check, print, increment, check, print, increment, check. Here in check, print, increment, check. So rest of the sequence remains the same. Only thing is this will always end with check. This will also end with check. Are you getting me? Print increment check, print increment check. On false, stop. What will happen here? Check, print increment check, print increment check, false, stop. So it will always end with check only. Okay, only thing is beginning is different. It checks first and then prints. This will first print and then check. So far as all the numbers which are valid like 2, 3, 4, 10, 100, 1000, both of them will give us the same output. But when I enter number like 0, this will print 1, whereas this will not print anything. If I enter 0 as n, then I is assigned value 1. 1 less than or equal to 0 is false. It won't print anything, it will straight away stop. There will be no output if the things are written in this way. The difference in these two, logically they are same. You are required to check whether I has reached value n. If it goes beyond that, stop. That is the logic, correct. Only thing is when are you going to check it? And one should always check it before. Okay, then in that case it will be the correct output. But both the things are allowed. We will have to first of all think on the proper lines. So whenever we think for the loops, there will be two types of loops. One, the bottom checking, and second, the top checking. A block is to be executed repeatedly. A block is to be executed repeatedly. Block remains the same. Condition shifts from the bottom of the block to the top of the block. Fine. Now to write this piece of code, I assume that everybody can write the scanf. Okay, let me write it. Let me write the part fully. We have never discussed anything like this first, like what is include, what is stdio.h. We have simply said that the functions scanf and printf, these are input and output statements, they are available from stdio, that is standard input output.h. That is the only thing that we know. I haven't even said that what is h. I have simply given you the long form that stdio means standard input output. So if your program contains input and output, you will have to include stdio. Finished. One has to write it always like this. If you write capital I, it will be error. Okay, I have told all of this, and that's why I expect you to write the code also in the same manner. I have not explained what do we mean by void. I said that syntax of every program must be this. One will always start writing with this part which is compulsory, and whatever your program is, that should be in between. This is a rule that we are following. Enter a number. A single number is to be accepted. Double quotes %d and %n. As per our program, I should be set to 1. Printf %d I, not and I. Ampersand sign will come only with scanf. Throughout the program we will be using I. We mean value which is stored in I. Whenever we declare something like int I comma n, we mean that we want to have two memory locations, one which will preserve the number and the other is a counter I, and I will be always incrementing that counter. It need not be always I, it could be j, it could be k, it could be I1, it could be I2, it could be anything that is starting with alphabet temporarily, but it cannot be if. because if has got some meaning. You can't say int if. That is not allowed. Int for is not allowed. So you should be using the words which do not belong to the language. Otherwise you build any word. That word is very much meaningless so far as the machine is concerned. Machine will simply say that this particular word means this location. You write it as sum, that location. Product, that location. The machine will never understand that it is sum, that means it should contain addition, or it is product, though it should contain product. ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं होता. It is simply a name that is given to the memory location, and that name can be your will and wish. If you don't like I and N, you can write anything. As simple as that. But even after saying all this, you will be writing it as I and N, you will be typing it as I and N, and if with this I am teaching in the college, and if I give such a sample program, everybody types the same thing and takes the output of it, and then we get a feeling that you have copied it. Don't do that. We can always make changes into it. We can always write the comment that N is the maximum number, right? This is a program to print the numbers. Whatever statement I have written, you can always write a comment at the top. You can always explain what this loop is doing. You can always say that this program is an example of loop, and whichever loop we are going to use over here, that way. So some additions and etc. things should be done. I am writing enter a number. Okay, you can say enter a number to print the values from 1 up to that. Okay. That will be more interactive. User will come to know what for he is inputting the number. Okay, print it. After that, increment. It will be I equal to I plus 1. Assignment statement, we have said that we will be always jumping on the right hand side, calculate the thing and copy it to the box on the left hand side. It is not the mathematical equal to. This equal to this, ऐसा नहीं है. It is assignment. And so left hand side should be always a single name. You cannot have anything like A plus B equal to C. This is totally meaningless. If you write such a statement, you are picking up, it will always pick up value of C, but then where to store that value? If you want to store value of A plus B into C, the correct statement should be C equal to A plus B. And that's why something like C equal to C minus 5 is also correct statement. I want to pick up the value of C, subtract 5 from it, and then whatever is the result, store it in C. Okay, that is the assignment statement. So here I am assigning I the next value which is incremented. Now I want to put a check. Now if I write if, then there will be then part and else part. I have nothing to do on else, I will be stopping. On true, I will have to go back. And those TC allows a statement called go to. It's there in C. Go to so and so position. And then we can give label and all. If you are with me for 4 years, 3 years from today, at least I will never be using go to, whatsoever may be the case. We don't require go to. Go to is always a bad programming practice. Go to has been provided for those programmers who have come from BASIC or Fortran. Over there were using go to extensively, and so jumping directly to a language like C, it is very difficult without the help of go to. But for us it is not the case. Now we will be using something called as do while loop. Do while you will always come to know whenever you are having a check at the bottom and you are taking a jump in the backward direction on condition. Such a algorithm or such a flow chart, bottom checking, will straight away lead to do while. Straight away. So it says while condition remains the same, becomes the program. So keep on doing this till this condition is true. As long as the condition is true, go back. So if I am to show you the syntax for do while, like I have written it for if earlier, it is while condition this is on true and on false it goes out. Bottom checking loop. Whatever I have shown over here is compulsory. Curly brackets are also compulsory. Actually a single statement may not require it, but you better remember it in this way. Algorithm written in this way and program written in this way is the correct association. We can very well write program in other manner. Now I am not going to write the entire code. आपण इंजिनियर होणार की नाही, हो की नाही, आपण कॉमर्सला नाही की नाही, आपण शॉर्ट हँडच्या क्लासला नाही की नाही, आपण डिक्टेशन नाही की नाही घेतो. सो आय विल गिव्ह यू टाइम टू टेक डाऊन द थिंग्स. नाही तर मी असं इकडं तिकडं कशाला लिहिलं असतं बरं. मी शक्यतो काही न पुस्तक लिहायचा प्रयत्न करतोय की नाही. हां, मी एवढंच प्रेमात बोलू शकतो, याच्यानंतर माझं डोकं खचकतं. हां ओके. आणि हे चुकलंय. यू शुड हॅव पॉइंटेड आउट हियर. एव्हरी टाइम इफ आय मेक I equal to 1, this will never become n. I am supposed to go back to print and not I equal to 1. Because if you by chance include this inside, then every time I increment I, and it will be again set to 1. So you will never come out of it. Such a thing is called as infinite loop. You run this program and it will keep on printing 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 and it will never stop. Why will it stop? To stop, the condition must be false. It will stop only for n equal to, it will stop only for n equal to, suppose I would have included I equal to 1 here. When will it stop? For n equal to 0 it will stop, na? Because then I equal to 1, I becomes 2, it will come out. For n equal to 1 also it will stop. Because it will print 1, I becomes 2, 2 less than 1 false. You gave n equal to 2, it will never stop. I will become 1, I will be printed 1, will become 2, 2 less than or equal to true, it will go back. I will become 1, will be printed, will become 2, 2 less than 2 true, will go back. That is infinite loop. Okay, by chance if your program goes into infinite loop, how to stop that program? ये पता है आपको यार. That means you must have tried this. Control break. Okay. Here, the difference between while and do while is nothing else but the position of while. This is this flowchart and this code correct. This flowchart and this code wrong, because it is a bottom checking loop. It should result in do while. This is top checking loop. This flowchart and this program wrong. Okay, there is an association of this. What will be the syntax of while? Syntax of while is going to be while condition block. If condition is true, come and execute the block. From end it will come back to check the condition on its own. You don't have to do anything. But when condition is false, it will straight away jump to the next statement. It will straight away come to the statement which is after that block of while, after the curly bracket. Got it? Now make a note. In what sequence? The same sequence as I have written it. Wow. First, this algorithm, corresponding flowchart 2. Third flowchart, or for this flowchart, the code 3. After the code, syntax 4. Flowchart 5. Code 6. Syntax 7. N is input. Fine. बोलो. M initial value. फक्त तू इंग्लिश मध्ये सांगत जा, मी सी मध्ये लिहित जातो. हां बोल. हां केलं. एम का तू असं कर ना, ए आणि बी घे ना, म्हणजे ऐकायला त्रास नाही होत. हां बी, ए इज इनपुट. हां आता बी नाही बोल. बोल. Initialize B as 1. A into B. Error. C is equal to A. You have not declared C. You started saying that declare 2. C. Okay. इथे लिहिलं तर एक ते 10चा पाडा नाही, n to 10 चा पाडा आहे. हां बोल. हां any other way this works. Has to. First of all, it will be A into 1, so A will be printed. B becomes 2. A into 2, 2A will be printed. Right. Suppose I say don't use, नाही व्हाईल करशील रे, त्याला ते मीच सांगितलं की तुला आत्ता व्हाईल इथनं काढायचं इथं ठेवायचं, त्यात काय. हां इफ आय से डोंट मल्टिप्लाय, देन if I say don't multiply, so I will be now writing the code for this. Bolo, without using multiplication. Do. कोणाला? C ला. It gives a warning, you are using the variable without definition. C is not initialized. C is equal to A, B equal to 1, B equal to B plus 1, printf C. While same condition, मला माहिती आहे, पण काय सिंटॅक्टिकल एरर आत्ता सांगायच्या आणि एक्झिक्युशन एरर त्यांनी कर्ली ब्रॅकेट लिहिला की सांगतो मी. हां बोल, कोड तर पूर्ण होऊ दे. हां कंडिशन तर बोल. किती वेळा ॲड करणार राजा? 10 वेळा. मग कंडिशन काय? Where is the counter? Okay, you have added once, you have added once, like that. Which is that counter? अगर आणि A हा इनपुट आहे ना, A बदलतोय का? बदलतोय का? Is A changing? अरे B इथं जर का B इन्क्रीमेंट चालतोय तुम्हाला, the one which is counter that will reach 10, no? A is not changing. C is picking up some new value. Then B less than or equal to 10. Unfortunately, when I ask you to print, say for number 11, your output starts from 22 and goes up to 121. Whereas I was looking for output from 11 to 110. Your input is 11, output comes from 22 up to 121. Now tell me, where is the mistake? Because for the first time when you say C equal to A, C becomes 11 and first value of C becomes 11 plus 11, 22. What should be initial value of C? C initial value. Zero. Initial value 0. But suppose I say nahi, I want it to be A. What change will you make? Suppose I say now don't change that. If I accept your answer B less than or equal to 9, the output will go from 22 up to 110. One option I have accepted, C equal to 0 karo, this will work. Now I am saying that C will remain A. Now what will you do? Take this printf here. C is 11, you print it, you make it 22, you increment B, go back, C is 22, print that. That's why I say that even this sequence is very important. Oh? Printf ऊपर लिखने से you will get the output even with C equal to A. Are you getting me? नहीं तो बोलो. I am saying that shift this printf at the beginning of the block. So C is initially 11, it will print 11, C will become 22, B will become 2. You will go back, C is 22, 22 will be printed, will become 33. So when you come out of the loop, C will be 121. That I know, but you haven't printed 121. And if there are so many variations for the simple program, then how can the entire class have the same programs? Okay? Which one will be better? This one or this one? Multiplication is going to consume more time than addition. This is better. Now suppose I say that you are not allowed to use C. So here C means variable C. So I have given you two options. One is you keep C as 0 and keep it as it is. Second choice was make C as 1 A, start with printf, then C equal to C plus A, B equal to B plus 1, while same condition. Third variation. Now don't use C. I can directly multiply and print it. Why should I store it in C? Or instead of using a counter, I will say if it is 11, go up to 110. If it is 12, go up to 120. If it is 29, go up to 290. Where will I get 290, 120 from? It is 10 into A. Now B is initially 0. It becomes 11 if A is 11. I print 11. Okay. 11 less than 110, yes. We go back, B is already 11. 11 plus 11 will become 22. We print 22. 22 less than or equal to 110, yes. We go back, 22 plus 11, 33. When it becomes 110, 110 it will be printed. 110 less than 110 is true. We go back. It is incremented, it becomes 121. 121 will be printed and 121 less than 110 is false. बराबर है? Every time output remains the same. Which one is better now? If you compare, which one is better? Not the last one, because unfortunately every time this multiplication happens 10 times. Not this one. Again multiplication is happening 10 times. The one which does not contain multiplication will still prove to be the best one. This one, this one, the one which does not contain multiplication will definitely take lesser time. Getting it? Make a note. In college, in one lecture, we cover 3 loops. And we start with first assignment, right? There are so many variations in the logic. I am just confirming the do while loop in all these cases. But I am just saying that what changes we are required to make if the condition is maintained as same, if some restrictions are imposed, if variable is reduced, if there are no 3 variables, only 2 of them. Okay? Then we are even working with the printf over here, saying that printf may, instead of printing a single variable value, you can always give the expression. Even that is possible. But see, instead of learning printf to the full depth, it will be the need oriented. Like I was saying on the first day. We don't want to learn all the syntaxes. But we say that even this is possible. Now that is easier to grasp one by one. Okay? So these programs, these loops that I am giving, they contain everything new. Every time one thing new into it. Let me complete this. This is b less than 10. And the best among all these will be this one. Because the loop executes 9 times, not 10 times. Nahi yaar, it should execute 10 times. Nahi. ठीक है, these two are equally good. Printf position has been changed here. Even b equal to 1 remains common. This part remains common to all. First 3 are using 3 variables. Last 2 are using only 2 variables. The strength of the program, the cost of the program will depend on the memory that you utilize and the time it takes to execute the program. Okay? Time wise this is better. Memory wise you are using one memory location extra. Memory wise these 2 are better, and again memory wise these 2 are better compared, they are equally good. Multiplication is taking place 10 times in each case. I am not giving you the code for while in this case, which you can very well write. While may I have said that shift this while to up, remove do and put while over there. They are equally good. If you have any doubt, ask me. मी सांगीन 4 वेळा 5 वेळा, पण आज फार फार तर पुढच्या लेक्चरला. Whatever doubts you have, you ask in that lecture or the next lecture. महिन्याभराने नाही सांगणार. Because I expect that you will have to work on these programs immediately. That is within 2 days or within a week maximum. Right now it is within 2 days. It will hardly take 5 minutes to make the changes and run each one of them, which you don't have to save also actually. Hmm. 10 into 2 होईल. हो बरोबर. बी चा यूज इथे फक्त काउंटरच आहे. सी एव्हरी टाइम आय एम ॲडिंग ए. बरोबर. किती वेळा मी ए ॲड करायचा आहे? 10 वेळा. आता ह्या 10 वेळा तू जे म्हणतेस हा सी पेक्षा वेगळी व्हॅल्यू आहे की नाही, म्हणजे मला एक वेगळा काउंटर लागणार आहे. बरोबर आहे. त्यामुळे तो काउंटर सारखाच वर्क होतो. बीचा यूज फक्त काउंटर म्हणून आहे इथे. इथं बीचा यूज मल्टिप्लायर म्हणून पण होता. आता त्या बीचा यूज फक्त काउंटर म्हणून आहे. किती वेळा मी ॲड केलं. कुठल्याही एखाद्या स्टेटमेंट नंतर जर का इन्क्रीमेंट आला तर आपल्याला कायम हे लक्षात ठेवायला पाहिजे की दिस इज काउंटिंग हाऊ मेनी टाइम्स दिस इज हॅपनिंग. किंवा आता इथं प्रिंट एफ नंतर येतोय तो दिस इज चेकिंग हाऊ मेनी टाइम्स प्रिंट शुड बी देअर. मी ही कंडिशन आधी लेस दॅन लिहून परत इक्वल टू का केली, कारण 10 व्हॅल्यूज प्रिंट करायच्यात, म्हणजे प्रिंट एफ 10 वेळा एक्झिक्यूट व्हायला पाहिजे. म्हणजे काउंटर व्हॅल्यू 1 to 11 जायलाच पाहिजे. 1 पासून 10 पर्यंत ट्रू आणि 11 ला फॉल्स. त्यामुळे समटाइम्स हिअर अँड हिअर इट इज जस्ट अ काउंटर. ओके. where C takes the responsibility of having the value. Here C takes the responsibility of value, but B is also a multiplier as well as a counter. Okay. Here B picks up the responsibility of storing the value, and there is no counter, but then the value of B is checked to stop, which is going to be maximum 10 times A. Here B is still a counter as well as multiplier, but we are not storing that multiplication. We are straight away printing it. Let us learn something new. There is an operator called as percent. This operator percent, operator as arithmetic operator again, like your plus, star, minus and slash, you have got operator percent also, but can be used only with integers. It cannot be used with real. If you use it with real number, it will give you error. Its purpose is, I hope you can understand. Gives remainder. It gives remainder. Gives. It is a remainder. Okay. Remainder माहिती आहे ना? हाँ. And there is, when we use slash with integers, actually this factor I have touched right in the first program when we have calculated average, and I said that it should be total upon 5.0, otherwise it will be only the integer part. That was slash operator. So here 453 slash 10 will give me 45 and not 45.3. 20 slash 7 will give me 2. So slash will give you quotient, percent will give you remainder. I am going to give you one piece of code. You are supposed to tell me the output. n is 1279, while n exclamatory mark is not. So if you just read it, you will know the meaning. If while n is not equal to 0, k equal to n% 10, n equal to n/10, printf %d \n, there is some space in between, huh? K comma n. So can you tell me the output? What will be first value of k? It is remainder when n is divided by 10. Nine. So output first value of k, 9. What will be value of n? One, two, seven. Output will be these two. Next person. What will be value of k then? Is n 0? N becomes 127. We print k and n, that is 9 and 127. We go back and check n. Is it 0? No. What will be new value of k? What is value of n right now? 9. Value of n? Value of n? Nine is a remainder. Percent gives us remainder. Slash gives us quotient. So what is value of n right now? Bol bol. Madam, what we have printed just now? K and n. What is value of n? Ha. Okay, now. What will be value of k? 7. What will be value of n? 12. Output will be? What will be value of k? ते झालं, पुढे गेलो आपण आता. हां, 2. What will be value of n? One. We go back. 1 is not equal to 0. What will be value of k? What will be value of k? What is value of n right now? 1. What will be value of k? अगं नाही ग, रिमाइंडर. हां, 1/10 रिमाइंडर. वन बाय 10 रिमाइंडर बोलो यार. वन बाय 10 रिमाइंडर 1. Value of n 0. Next, it will terminate. It will terminate. Got it? So through quotient, if you observe, I was separating a digit. This was just for your information. I got the output as 9721. And what happened to n? Vanished. It's lost. It has become 0. इसके बाद अगर आप पूछोगे what was the input number, I don't know. I have destroyed n through this loop. And I could successfully print the digits. That too not as 1, 2, 7, 9, but the last digit first. 9, then 7, then 2 and then 1. So when I go for some code like this, For the same n, can somebody give me the output? Sum is initially 0. 0 plus n% 10. What will be added? 9. 9 will be added. Sum will become 9. N will become 127. Next time 127 by 10. Remainder is 7. 9 plus 7. Sum will become 16. This will become 12. Then it will be 16 plus 2. 18. N will become 1. And 18 plus 1. 19. This sum will print 19. This is sum of digits of the given number. Right? I am changing only one statement. What will be value of sum? This has got output as 19. What will be output? I am just replacing this statement by this. The best way to do this is what we call it as dry run or paper run. Okay, write down the sequence. It is sum is picking up some value, n is picking up some value, condition. Sum initially becomes, or initialization will show separately. Sum is 0, number is 1279. Here the condition doesn't come into picture. Okay, when we come over here, sum equal to sum into 10, 0 into 10, 0, plus the remainder becomes 9. I am just executing the code step by step. N becomes 127. Condition is true. So again sum will be calculated. It will be sum into 10, 90, plus remainder 97. This becomes 12. Condition is true. 970 plus 2, 972. 1. Condition is still true. 9720 plus 1, 9721. 0. False. So though I don't have the machine, we can execute it on paper. This is called as a paper run. Here we are not doing anything else but executing it statement by statement. Sum की new value, n की new value, condition true है, again like that. What will be the output? 9721. That means the number is reversed. Okay. Now we know something called as palindrome. What is a palindrome? It's a number which reads same from left to right, right to left. Now I have got a reverted number also. Okay. What should I write after this so that I can say that it is a palindrome? It is not a palindrome. Like our if. I already have got its reverse. कहाँ पे stored है? Sum में. Now can you tell me whether the number is palindrome? Number and its reverse, if it is same, it is palindrome. If n is equal to sum printf palindrome, else printf not a palindrome. प्रोग्राम कैसे होगा? एक्सेप्ट n sum equal to 0 while n not equal to 0, this statement n equal to n by 10 print sum, if n equal to sum palindrome printf, not palindrome, it's a program to check whether the given number is palindrome. Unfortunately, after running this program, it will always say it is not a palindrome. Even if the number is say 121, it will still say it is not a palindrome. Why? Hint answer I have already given you. Actually, I am saying that जिस तरह का कोड मैंने आपको कहा कि एक्सेप्ट n दिस ब्लॉक, इसमें ये सम रिप्लेस करेंगे. इफ n इक्वल टू सम पैलिंड्रोम एल्स नॉट पैलिंड्रोम, इफ नंबर इज 121, its reverse will be 121, but still program will always say it is not a palindrome. And for that matter, program will always say that it is not palindrome except for one case, when it says it is palindrome. So first of all, can you tell me why is it saying it is not a palindrome? I have already given the answer also. Anyone? It's very simple. Final value of n is 0. It is your assumption that n still has original value. You have destroyed n. You have destroyed n in this loop. You have made it 0. And so if input is 0, then only it will say it is palindrome. Otherwise, for all other numbers, sum will be reverted, but n will be 0. And so this condition will never become true. And so it will always give false. Now remedy. Make a copy of that n. n तो destroy होने ही वाला है. Destroy होने से पहले उसकी एक copy कर लो. Say m equal to n. And instead of comparing with n, compare with m. And it works. Because n gets destroyed, m will still have the original value. Got it?